Okay, I decided to theme myself for this video. It's not a full costume, but it's like subtle enough. Welcome back to Who's the Best, a series on this channel where we analyse different actors and their portrayals in certain roles. And I just sit here in awe at how varied and different and brilliant each actor is. After I did my Lydia video that did very well, people really wanted to see other Beetlejuice characters. I had suggestions ranging from Delia to Beetlejuice, which is the subject of today's video. Finally doing it. You can ask for different Beetlejuice characters now. Now, so far there's only been, to my knowledge, 2 actors to play Beetlejuice. These being Alex Brightman and Blom. This is, of course, true of the time of recording this. So relax, you'll be fine. Drink your $50 wine, take a breath, and let's dive into this show about death. But if you haven't seen me before, hi, I'm Daniel, I talk about theatre. Sometimes I talk about the ghost with the most, so if you want more Beetlejuice content or more musical theatre content in general, why don't you hit that subscribe button? Please, I'm so close to 1,000. It's like right there. It's so close. Please help. And if you do enjoy this video, please leave a like and show that you enjoyed it. And also in the comments, leave other roles that you'd like me to analyse and see who is my favourite. And of course, as I always say with these type of videos, remember that theatre is what? Subjective! There's no such thing as the best actor and the worst actor in the majority of cases. But it's perfectly valid to have your own favourites, and I urge you to share your favourites in the comments down below, as long as you're respectful to all of the actors, and please, don't tear anyone down. With that said, let's start. Beetlejuice is such a big presence in the musical, and as the big man himself says at the start of the show, he's portrayed with a bold departure from the original source material. Beetlejuice in the film is quite literally the worst person. He's creepy, perverted, and here for your daughter, Chuck. And it humanises him a lot, so he can work as an anti-hero and also a focus of the piece. With this change, we get a character who's quite misguided and creepy, sure. But at the bottom of all of it, he's really lonely. He craves attention and just wants people to see him and notice that he's there. His actions are understandable, but not completely excusable. It's a fine line to walk, trying to make this type of character likeable. But how do our Beetlejuices fare when we look at them performing the 3 main songs for Beetlejuice in the show? The Whole Being Dead Thing, Fright of Their Lives, and Say My Name. There you go. Is this still a look? Is this still a look, guys? Let's start with The Whole Being Dead Thing, with Alex Brightman. Brightman's performance quite literally explodes with energy. He clearly has the time of his life as he switches between musical styles with ease and runs up and down the stage of the Winter Garden. There's always a danger in roles like this, that you'll give too much too quick and have nowhere left to go. But Alex Brightman is just so clearly a pro, and manages to keep it varied through his amazing comic timing, and the changes in posture and voice in the constantly changing musical styles. I think here is where we're going to have to talk about the voice. I think it's quite a polarising element. I think you either love it or you hate it. I remember that it took me a while to get used to it. I initially didn't like it at all. But over time, and through listening to the musical, it definitely grew on me. But then on the other side of the coin, there's a lot of people who will criticise actors who don't do the voice. But I think it's important to remember in these situations that not every actor can do Alex Brightman's Beetlejuice style of voice and make it through 8 shows a week. It might be okay to make your voice croaky like this for 5 seconds. It wasn't for me, Jesus Christ. But doing that and maintaining that for an entire show for 8 shows a week will end up damaging your vocal cords. So I'm not going to be criticising Blom, who doesn't do the same Beetlejuice voice. And I'm not going to be criticising Alex Brightman either for putting one on. Because they both know what they can do with their voice, and they do that. When it comes to Blom, once you've readjusted yourself to the fact that Beetlejuice isn't going to be speaking in his really croaky voice, I think his performance is really fantastic. And his more subtle Beetlejuice voice actually allows him in this song to switch between styles so easily.
You're all gonna die! You're all gonna die!
Blom feels like he takes his time a lot with each moment. That's not to say that the song loses its needed hectic nature, because that still comes through with the music and the characterization and everything there. Talking about characterization, I get a really sociable energy from Will Blom. From the little bits of sass to the way he smiles and interacts with the audience. This works really well to get across Beetlejuice's absolute need for attention. A moment that really illustrates this to me in the show is the differences between the body language on Namaste You Frickin' Posers. Where Alex Brightman puts his middle finger up to the entire audience, Will Blom just points and smiles. One is more comedic, but one feels a lot friendlier and illustrates that Blom has a better relationship with the audience. When it comes down to picking one I prefer, it's extremely tough because the subtle differences between the two work amazingly well. I think Alex Brightman is great. He's amazing. He knows this character inside and out and has just the most fun on stage ever. And I think that fun and that energy really gets across to the audience. But I just ever so slightly, and I mean ever so slightly, prefer Blom's performance here. That could be because Blom had the best bootlegs out of the ones that I've watched. But I really love his tape and how he builds that relationship with the audience, making fun of them, but not going too far. Not to say that Alex Brightman didn't go too far with it, you know. They're different. They're different, but I like them both. And I really do want to stress, I spent ages trying to pick. Literally, this script took so long because I could not pick between the two of these. But if you pushed me on it, I'd probably just ever so slightly go to Will Blom. Next up, let's take a look at Fright of Their Lives. I picked this song because I think it really shows the important relationship between Beetlejuice and the Maitlands. How they clash, how they vary, and I think it gives a lot of comedic moments to Beetlejuice. Before we get into this, can I just say how much I love how Alex Brightman holds himself on stage as Beetlejuice? I think it works especially well when he's playing off against someone else like Lydia or the Maitlands or Charles. He hunches over slightly, he's energetic, he's running about the place. He just feels like this little rabid demon that's running about the place, which I think works perfectly for what Beetlejuice is in this show. I think Alex Brightman really takes us through the journey of this song, picking up on all the comedic moments and little gags along the way. He starts off full of energy and ready to teach these two how to be scary. And then by the end of this song, he's just so defeated that you really do feel his pain. Never thought I would be saying that I relate to a demon, but okay. His vocals are great here. I think his voice choices really work with this song, especially when he goes into the choir section and subtly changes the voice to be slightly more deep. I think he also just nails the comedy in this song. My favourite comedic moment from him in this song being this bit.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell. It's just, you make Daddy so angry.
I love this performance so much. It's Alex Brightman on just top form, and he plays off the Maitlands just so well. Will Blom starts this song off with his reactions to the scariest thing the Maitlands can think of, and this just sends me into hysterics. It's just so, it's his face, it's so perfectly just like, oh no, oh god no, it's so good, it's perfect. Blom throws himself into this performance just as Alex Brightman does. It's comedic, it's high energy, it's everything that you want from this type of song. I love the constant frustration in his face and the dread he feels as he sees more and more of the Maitlands struggle to be scary. When it comes to vocals, he sounds great. Of course, I said before, he doesn't go for the full croaky Beetlejuice voice, but I still think what he does is very good for the character. And his voice just sounds absolutely incredible when we get to the choir section. He absolutely goes for the style in his mannerisms and movements too. And just like Alex Brightman, the climax of the song is amazing as he realises he's just got absolutely no chance of helping these people. Yes, again, I'm sitting here struggling to choose. They both have exactly what this song needs. High energy, great vocals, and the comedic timing down. If pushed on this one, I'd go with Alex Brightman. Of course, I wouldn't discount Blom because he still gives an absolute performance. It's just these two performances are literally pure gold. How am I meant to choose? We're on to the final song of this video, Say My Name. This is the first time that Beetlejuice gets seen by a breather, and the introduction to his relationship with Lydia. This being one of the more popular songs in the musical, and because I left it out of my Lydia video, I had to include it here. Will there be a clear victor, or will this be just as close as before? Before I start, can I please show you probably one of my favourite bits in the entire musical.
Can you see me?
Yeah, you look like a bloated zebra that a lion ripped apart and then didn't eat because something was obviously wrong with it, so it just rotted in the hot African sun.
You can see me!
Brightman's desperation in this song is absolutely hilarious. His switch between the nose and the begging, it all works brilliantly. And as soon as the song starts, Alex Brightman's energy just shines as always. From the fake cartwheel to this. I love the way Alex Brightman plays off Lydia. I think their age difference and the way each of them hold themselves really shows the relationship and makes them just such a fun pair to watch on stage. Especially in the bit where Lydia refuses to say his name and we watch him fall around the stage in pain and frustration. And then we come to the moment towards the end of the song where Lydia finally has enough and just pushes him off the roof. He's clearly fighting a losing battle here. And we see his final tactic just fail as he's spun straight off and falls. I love his little spin, it's so cute. I love Brightman here. I love Brightman here so much. It's just great. It's enough said. Lydia has such great chemistry with him. His comedy is great as always. And his vocals are good. It's just an all-round great performance. And Will Blom, just as good. These two just really wanted to make this video hard for me, didn't they? Yet again, fantastic chemistry with Lydia. Great delivery of my favourite line. And I love the sudden change in this bit and his accent choices.
Dead guy, what brings you to the roof?
I'm gonna jump now!
I mean, no.
I love how Will Blom tries to act natural at the start of speaking to Lydia. And then it very quickly just falls into chaotic begging. It really hits home the comedy of this moment, as he's desperately trying to clutch onto this only way for him to survive. Blom, although, throws away the line "the finer points can wait." But I love how this transitions into the cartwheel. It's a nice little build-up. It manages to keep the chaos balanced so it doesn't always feel so in your face. Blom's physicality also just shines in Lydia's verse. His excitement is electric and his disappointment is immeasurable, and his day is ruined. And finally, we get the Will Blom moment of the day. My favourite choice he makes in this entire song. It's campy, it's funny, it's such a small change, but it works so well that honestly, it just stands out to me so much. I love Will Blom and I love his little scream as he falls. He's so cute. What a cute little demon. Do I really have to choose? I love them both. I don't want to pick a favourite today. And I mean, this goes for all of this. I think with this, we get two actors who fully understand the character that they are playing. They get the comedic side to him. They get across the loneliness. They get across the creepiness. The way they do it have similarities and differences, but honestly, I can't tell you which one I prefer. Of course, I always have a bias towards understudies because I just admire them so much. I think what they do is so impressive. I think it's amazing to me how an actor can completely sell a role that they don't play like 8 times a week. And then again, be having to play ensemble on top of that, be swinging sometimes as well. It's always so impressive what they do. And I think our industry doesn't always give them the respect that they deserve. Because Will Blom just throws himself into the role and lives in it. But honestly, the exact same thing can be said about Alex Brightman. Of course, he had the luxury of playing it a lot more, workshopping it a lot, so he had the time to experiment and find what works. But because of this, he knows what lands, and he knows what's the best way is to portray this character. I'm completely stumped this time. I can't give you a favourite. And you know what, that's okay. The point of this series on my channel isn't to tell you who the best actor is, because that is a subjective opinion. The point of this series is to explore these roles, explore these actors, and just appreciate how different people can give us the same role, but portrayed in such a different way. If you personally prefer someone, that's okay, and it's perfectly valid. But if you ask me who my favourite Beetlejuice is, I'd say both of them. Thank you for watching, and as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Who's your personal favourite? And if you have any suggestions for other actors or other roles you'd like me to cover in the future, let me know down there as well. But if you did enjoy this video, please consider hitting like and subscribe. It really helps me continue what I'm doing on this channel. And as I said, I am so close to 1,000. On screen right now, some links to my other videos. But that's it for me today. And I'll hopefully see you next time. Bye!